you mentioned that Saturday is quite kid-friendly.
Mhm.
Is Friday evening also kid-friendly?
Kids are certainly welcome. Nothing's going to be kid inappropriate, but we're expecting there to be more adults there for the event. But
Sure.
certainly bring the kids if you'd like. But definitely the strollers, younger kids, things like that. It's probably better for the morning event on
Okay.
Saturday. So,
All right. Very cool. And then as we transition then overnight, you guys are going to be very busy. All the board members, I don't know if you're going to get any sleep.
Unlikely that you see.
Right. Then we move into our more traditional sort of lineup for Saturday morning. As you said, 4 a.m. is when the gates open. Are you serious about that? Is it really 4 a.m.?
Yeah, we are serious about that. We actually used to open the gates a little later, and people were clamoring to get in earlier.
Okay.
It's even better because there's a lot of people that want to get there for the glow show. So glow shows at 5 a.m. and we'll open the gates about an hour early. People like to get their spot outside the launch area and set up a blanket or a chair or something like that, or at least just get in there and get some early morning breakfast or your coffee.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's time for coffee now.
Yep. Yeah, and then so we'll have a kids area, bounce houses, things like that. Play. We've got tethered rides, which is another big draw.
Oh yeah, we're definitely talking about that here.
Not many hot air balloon festivals do tethered rides,
Really?
and we are one of the rare ones that actually do. So.
Wow. Well, let's talk about that a little bit because there are maybe people listening who have no idea what a tethered ride is. They think of a hot air balloon and they think of maybe what they've seen as they've been driving along in the countryside. They see one way up in the air. So a tethered ride is different than that, right?
It is, yeah. So it's the hot air balloon. It's got a few lines attached to it, which is then attached to cars, and that way it doesn't go floating off in the wind or go too high. Once you get on a normal hot air balloon flight, it takes off and it goes where the wind direction and the pilot directed to, and then it sets down and you have to completely deflate and pack it all in. So you can't exactly get a whole lot of people on a balloon. It's
Right.
some of the baskets hold up to 10, but usually like 4 or 5 people. So that's why it's kind of a little higher priced when it comes to a real hot air balloon flight. But not everyone's able to take that full flight, and not everyone's like, I've got a lot of people say I'm scared of heights, but
Yeah, sure.
what they're interesting, but I'm not quite sure I'd like it.
Yeah.
And that's a hard commitment because you've got like an hour or so
Sure, right, yeah.
for a real flight. So we have a few minute flight that goes a few stories up, so you're not getting too high off the ground.
Okay.
And so you get in the basket, do your flight, and then get back out after you get up there, and you're a few stories up, so you'll probably we'll see your car.
Okay.
If you live close, you might be able to see your house. It's hard to say, but you definitely get that taste of being in a hot air balloon. You get to take your pictures, you get to experience it, especially for those people who are like, I'm scared of heights, I'm not sure. You get to try it out. And Michelle, I think you've been up before, but
Yeah.
it's depends on people's fear of heights, but it is very secure feeling. You've got a basket around you, you've got a basket underneath you. It feels like a stable platform, and you're just kind of floating.
The floating sensation, Ted, I have to tell you, is one of the most magical things
Yes.
that you can experience. And how much does it cost for a tethered ride? Because this is pretty reasonable considering, how much a regular ride usually costs.
Yeah, so it's just going to be $15.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's very, very affordable. Our pilots come out and try to keep the cost low, try to give everyone an opportunity to really kind of experience it. And then if they want to do a full balloon flight after that, they're always welcome to some of the local companies or something like that. So,
Yeah, okay.
we also have the opportunity to take a full balloon flight, and that's what we call a sponsored rate. And so we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we are entirely operated by volunteers, and it is. And so if there are room on the balloons during the event, we will make an announcement over the loudspeakers, letting people know that we have some instant sponsorships available. And that's where we found some spots ready to take off, and you've got 10-15 minutes to run over there and say, hey, I want to get on there, and we'll put you on a balloon. You'll be able to take a real flight as well.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, so those instant sponsorships the morning of on Saturday, some of them may be available, weather permitting. Let's talk a little bit about weather permitting, because I think this is pretty important for people to understand. Safety is paramount when you're doing an event. event like this.
It is, yes.
So how does weather affect balloons and pilots?
Balloons don't have radar. They can't see what's above them, especially when there's a gigantic envelope above them. They can't look up and see if is there a plane overhead, things like that. They are in touch with the air traffic controller, so they will tell them if there's air traffic around them. For our event, we do have a special airspace created so people can't fly into it. So we do have that added safety of that. But once they get outside that area, they need to make sure they keep an eye on where planes are as well as planes with them and things like that. So they can't have the fog that sometimes happens, and that's why we have it in June, July, is because there's less chance of fog during that time of year. So that's why we picked that. So if there is fog, the balloons won't be able to launch, unfortunately. We usually, so 6:30 is usually the main launch. We'll wait around. If it's looking to burn off about 7, then we'll definitely launch. If not, the balloons inflate. They hang out on the ground. You can talk to the pilot. You can take pictures. You can take pictures with the balloons. You can sell them. Some people like it even better if the balloons stick around.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that happened last year. We didn't quite have the winds cooperate with us. So we did stay on the ground, but it was an amazing event to see a field full of balloons and be able to do all that. So other things that affect if they can take off is wind. So it's the envelope is like a giant sail. So if you've got too strong of winds, it'll blow you in the wrong direction or blow you over, things like that. Again, even if it feels calm on the ground, if it's a few hundred feet up where they're going to fly and it's too fast at that point too, we won't be able to launch. And that's what actually happened last year. Was the winds aloft, is what they call it, were a little too high to take off, but we had a great time on the ground, so we could inflate at that time. If winds on the ground are too strong, then we won't be able to inflate. And it's rare. Again, that's why we pick the morning to do it. It's because it tends to be calm. Yeah. And then obviously rain.
Rain is not good.
Can't really fly in the rain. You've got your overcast as well as sometimes wind, but also that water. Yeah, hot air balloons and water don't mix either. So,
They do not.
and that's what happened last year, the second day, which is we actually had half an inch of rain, 3/4 inch of rain. It was crazy. Just a random storm that was not predicted. But you know, those things happen. But,
Yeah, they do. And you can't pack up a balloon when it's wet, right? If it starts to rain and you get the envelope, which is the outer shell of the balloon there, that can't get wet. You can't pack it up wet because it can mold.
Yes, they will definitely grow mold. They need to dry out. And I don't know if anyone went to Albuquerque this last year. We were not the only ones with adverse weather with hot air balloons this year. Reno had some issues, and the biggest issue was in Albuquerque. We actually had some board members that went down and volunteered to launch balloons. We've got some local pilots that go down there, and they had, even though we can have 2-week-long event, they had some freak storms where there was just gigantic downpour while they were inflating, while they were told to take off.
Oh, dang.
And if anyone wants to look that up, you can actually see they found some event spaces where the balloons would actually inflate inside so they could dry out because they were so wet.
Oh my gosh.
So we had some board members that were very exhausted when they got back because they were there with the balloons and they were having to stretch them out with fans and hold them open sort of to dry them until they could inflate and then still sit there while they dried out, inflated inside.
Oh my gosh.
It was kind of a fun view. It was kind of interesting to see, so definitely check it out if you get a chance. We don't quite have those big event spaces. We don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it is definitely, and if Albuquerque knew what was going to happen, they wouldn't have had them fly. That was an unfortunate event that they had to scramble and try to find a way to repair what happened when they did launch and they had those freak storms. So we tend not to have those. California weather, you kind of know hours ahead of time if it's going to rain. We got the threat of rain. We got there's a little bit of cloudiness, and then maybe it'll rain. So usually we don't have the random,
all of a sudden,
a few,
surprise.
exactly.
We don't have that.
We don't have the things that happen in Florida where it's just randomly, there's a rainstorm that comes through.
Right. I'm talking with Ted Ritchie. He is the board president of the Sonoma County Hot Air Balloon Classic. It is such a fun event. Things are changing up a little bit this year. It is now going to be on Friday and Saturday, July 14th and 15th. The Friday night event opens at